I wanted to make a video talking about how I how I met the Asian girl. I don't know if y'all seen. Some of y'all probably saw her, the Asian girl that I posted in my community post. That was the Asian girl that I was telling y'all that I met on off of Tinder back in 2020, 4 years ago. I wanted to make a video just kind of like talking about how we met and everything, and like just basically just giving y'all a story of what happened when we was together for that brief little time that we was together. Before she ended up ghosting me. But yeah, man, this was back in 2020. This was around the time when the so-called COVID-19, pandemic. I don't call it a pandemic. It was a pandemic. But anyway, that's off topic. This was around that time when it first became like a big deal, and everybody had to stay at home and wear masks and all that bullshit. This was around that time. Um, like you couldn't go inside stores without having a mask and all that. So I met her around that time, unfortunately. But yeah. So anyway, I remember one day I was working at my old job. I don't work at that job anymore, but I used to work at this job, and I was working like at a hospital, and I was like working like in the kitchen area, and I remember one day I was well, no, I wasn't swiping or anything. I ended up getting like a match. I remember I ended up getting a match on Tinder, and I didn't really think it was nothing, like, cause sometimes you know how sometimes you'll get matched, but it don't mean shit. So I kind of just was like, whatever. So I ended up getting a match, and I didn't really take it too seriously, cause I was just thinking. Cause sometimes well, not sometimes, most of the time, I'll get matches and it never leads to anything. Like the girl don't respond, or she might respond, but then she just end up just flaking or unmatching me for no reason. All that bullshit. So, but luckily that didn't happen with this chick. So I matched this Asian chick, and I was like, oh snap, and I was shocked, man, because it was like out of all the girls, because like it's not really like where I live. I mean, there's Asians in this area where I live, but it's not like an abundance of them. So it's like it was kind of like miraculous that I actually ended up matching with a Asian chick out of like, cause like the area where I live is mostly like black girls, like black people and some white people and stuff. I mean, it's diverse here, but it's not that diverse. So it just felt kind of strange that I ended up matching an Asian chick, and that's what I really desire. So so anyway, yeah, I ended up matching her, and I was happy as hell. And so, well, I wasn't really like happy. I wasn't like ecstatic. I mean, I was you know I was happy, but at the same time I wasn't getting my hopes up at the same time. So anyway, I ended up messaging her, and I can't remember what I said because this was a long time ago. So I'm gonna just kind of just tell y'all what happened. So I ended up messaging her, and she ended up responding, and we was kind of like going back and forth a little. Then I asked her for her number. She gave me her number, and one day I ended up calling her. While I was at work. Actually, no, I called her after I got off work. She gave me her number, so I decided to hit her up. And then I called her when I was waiting on my ride to go home that night when I was getting off work. And I called her, and I just, I actually heard her voice, and we was on the phone talking, and I asked her, if we could link up. I basically was trying to like set up a. Well, first I was like kind of like talking to her. We were just having a little like small conversation, and then then that led to me, setting up a date, for us to link up. So we ended up linking up. I told her where to meet me, and I told everybody at my job, about the whole situation. They was happy for me because they knew, that I, had, they know my situation about, not being able to get girls and all that kind of stuff. Because I told some of my coworkers, so they was like cheering for me and everything. So so like every day when it was getting closer to the day that we were supposed to link up, everybody was like, cheering me on and telling me good luck and everything. And so the day finally came to link that we were supposed to link up, and then we linked up. And I didn't when I remember I told her where I wanted her to meet me. Now I set up the date. I was the one that told her where I wanted us to meet. And so and she didn't live too far from the location where I told her I wanted us to meet. So, and by the way, this happened around this time last year. This was like late August, early October, early September. Actually, no, this was like not too long before my birthday. This was like a week. This was maybe like a couple days before my birthday, actually, that I met her. Um, and so anyway, I remember we was linking up. I told her where I wanted her to link up, and it just so happened that where I wanted us to link up, she actually lived not too far from that location. So we ended up meeting. We ended up meeting at the location where I told us to meet. It was basically like downtown, in the downtown area, and I got there before she did, and I'm sitting there waiting for her, and I'm thinking, oh God, like I was now I had ended up catching a lift down there. I caught a lift down to where I told her I wanted us to meet, but I got there first before she did. So she said she was going to walk there. So cuz like I said, her location wasn't too far from where I told us to meet at. So she ended up walking to where I told her to meet, and I'm sitting there waiting, and mind you, I don't know what this girl looked like in person, so I'm just basically going off of the picture. I'm trying to find, the girl from the picture. Like, I'm looking around, seeing all these. I'm looking through all, the people that's walking around, because it was like a very high, a lot of people was like walking around in that area. It's like a very crowded, location where it was like a lot of people walking around. So in the pool of like all those people, I had to like figure out which girl was the person from the girl from Tinder. So I'm looking around, and then I finally then I see somebody that kind of looked like the girl from the picture, and then I'm like, wait, is that her? And then she got a little closer, and then that's when I realized, and then I put two and two together. I seen her, and then I seen the picture. I'm like, oh shit, this is she's actually like real, like she actually showed up. Like I was blown away, y'all. Like I could not fucking believe, my jaw dropped. And then on top of that, the fact that she was Asian and she looked so good in person, man. I'm like, wow. Like it was an amazing experience, y'all. I'm telling y'all, like this was the first time in my life that I ever met a girl off of a dating app, ever. That was the first and last time that I ever met a girl off of a dating app. And I was ecstatic, man. I was like, I mean, I ain't like show it, like I wasn't like so obvious, like, oh my God, oh my God. I wasn't acting like that, but in my head I was. But I was just, playing it cool and everything. I was like, I just, said, hey, what's going on, and we, was walking and talking, and it felt very weird. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Like, cause it's like this was the first time that I ever got caught, like, got a W. Like meeting a girl off of a dating app. Like, that shit felt so unreal. Cause y'all know for years, man, I've always had bad luck with females. I've always, been rejected all the time. And for me to actually catch a W, it was just like, what? Like, that shit felt so surreal. And then on top of that was an Asian chick. On top of that, like, that shit was crazy, man. So anyway, we walking and talking. Now I can't remember what we was talking about, y'all. We was just kind of just talking, and I asked her, just basic stuff like what was her. Well, I already asked her what her name was over the phone before we met, but I was just asking her, what did she want to do, and she told me, I remember because like we seen like these people riding scooters. She was saying she wanted us to ride on a scooter, but I didn't want to do that because I don't ride scooters and all that stuff. So I told her nah, I don't think I want to do that. So we ended up walking, and we was actually going to we actually I know some guys might call me a simp for doing this, but fuck it, man. This was my first time. This was my first date ever. So I decided that I wanted to take her to Chipotle, because it was a Chipotle right down the street from where we was at, where we met up. So we was walking, holding hands, and then we went to Chipotle. And I'm getting flashbacks just talking about this. Trying to remember what happened. We went to Chipotle. We went to Chipotle. We went to Chipotle, and I ended up buying her food. I bought myself food and food for her. And we ate at Chipotle. We was eating outside, talking or whatever. And then after that, we we started walking, holding hands again. We was walking through the park. We was walking through like the downtown area, and where was a lot of people. And I remember people was staring at us, looking at us, and seeing us holding hands and stuff. And I remember this white lady. It was like a older white lady, looked like she might have been in her 40s, maybe like late 30s, early 40s. She didn't look that old. She looked kind of like one of those soccer moms or whatever. And she saw us, and she was like, "You two look like a great couple." And then it was like a lot of people was like commenting on about us, and we was getting a lot of stares, man, a lot of stares. I think it might have been because we was a mixed couple, because I'm black and she was Asian, so we kind of stood out, I guess. So we holding hands, and I remember this one dude that was collecting trash. He came up to me and was like, "Hey, yo," he was like, "Damn, man, like, what did you do, man? What did you?" He was like, how I what did he say? He said, "Dad, what am I supposed to do to get that, man? Like, what I gotta do? Like, what's the secret, man?" And I was just smiling, and then the Asian chick, she was smiling too. She ain't say anything. She was just smiling and laughing. And I was smiling. I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." He's like, "Dang, man." He's like, "Dang." And then he walked away. Like, and it was like it was like dudes staring at the girl. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, seeing the dude stare at the girl, it made me feel good knowing that, like, damn, like, I got a fine ass Asian chick walking with this fine ass Asian chick, and this other dude staring at her like, like they wish they had her. That shit made me feel good, man. Like, it kind of like boosted my ego a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah, man, we walking to the park. I remember we was walking to the park, and we was watching the fire, because it was like I think, what day was that? I think that was like Labor. We met on like Labor Day, I think. And they had like fireworks. They had like a fireworks show. It was watching the fireworks and stuff. and she had her head laying on my shoulder, and it just felt like I was in a movie, man. I swear, like we was just walking, talking, holding hands, and just having just these conversations. I can't remember the conversations we had, to be honest with y'all. Like this was a long time ago, so I can only remember like I can't remember like the small details, but I do remember some things. Um, but yeah, man. And then I remember like it was getting kind of dark. It was getting late, so cause like we hung out in like the evening time, like around like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we spent like the whole evening just just getting to know each other, walking, holding hands and stuff, talking. And then like as the day went on, it was nighttime. Eventually nighttime came, and I remember she had to, I told, well, basically, I know y'all gonna probably judge me for this, but I don't care. Like my parents didn't know that I was actually going on a date with the girl. I just lied and made something up just so I had an excuse to see her. I just said that I had to work. So I just made up a lie, and I just told my parents that I had to work that night, even though I was really going to see her. So when it was getting kind of late, I told her that I just made up an excuse to to kind of leave, because it was getting dark and I ain't want my parents to wonder where I was at. I know y'all probably gonna judge me, but I don't care. Um, so anyway, we we decided that we was gonna. Actually, I don't think I told her about my parents. I don't think I told her that like we was gonna. I don't remember what I did, what I said, but I don't think I mentioned anything about my parents to her. I don't think. I think I just said that, I think it's getting kind of late. I think we should hang out another time or something like that. I don't remember. I don't know if she ended it or if I ended it. I honestly can't remember, y'all. But anyway, it was getting late, and so I remember I called a Uber. I called an Uber for her to get home because she didn't. She had a car. I remember she told me. I remember she said she had a car, but she said her car was in the shop because her car was like messed up or something. So she didn't have her car. I mean, eventually she ended up getting it, but she didn't. At that time, she didn't have her car yet, so she had to, walk home and catch Ubers and stuff. So I called. I think she called her own Uber. I think to get home, and I was gonna sit outside and wait for her until her ride came, cause I didn't want her to, I didn't want to just leave her just outside by herself. So like that picture that y'all saw of her um at nighttime, like smiling, the first picture, that was the picture of when we was waiting outside for her Uber to come pick her up. We decided to take a picture together, and I took myself out the picture. I just focused the picture on just her. But yeah, so I remember I was waiting for her ride to come. Her ride came, and her ride came, and I told her to text me when she got home. So I opened the door for her, and she got in the car, and I told her to text me when you get home, and she said okay. And after that happened, I don't know how, I don't know why this happened. Like I really thought this was really very odd, but I remember there was another cute chick that was like smiling at me when she seen that I opened the door for the Asian chick. Like this was some other, I don't know who this girl was. This was some random chick that seen me open the door for the Asian girl when she was getting in the Uber. Like some random cute chick across the street saw me do what I did, and then she smiled. She was smiling at me. Like it felt kind of weird. Like it almost felt like, you know, having a girl like actually like interested in me, like attracted other women. You know, like she was looking at me like she was interested. It was just it felt kind of strange. I think she might have been either Asian or Latina or something. I don't know what she was. She looked good too. But I thought that was that made me feel good, man. Like when I told her to call, text me when you get home, and then some other girl checked me out and shit, making me feel good and shit. I swear, man, that was one of the best days of my life, man. I swear, I'll never forget that day, man. I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. Um, but yeah, that was the first day we met, and then when I got home, I told my parents and everything, and I told them the truth that I actually went out on a date with a girl, and they was kind of surprised, and I showed them the picture. It was an Asian girl, and they was actually. I thought they was gonna be mad that I lied, but they wasn't mad at all. They was actually happy for me. And then my younger sister, she seen the picture of her and everything. Said she was very pretty and stuff, and they was happy for me. Um, but yeah, man, that day will always be ingrained in my head, man. But then I remember afterwards. I remember when I came home. When I came home that night that we spent time together and stuff. I remember what happened. Oh yeah, I told her to text me when she came home, and I told her to text me when I came home, and she did it. I was shocked. I was shocked that she texted me, and I told her to text me when she came home. She did it. I said text me when you get home, and then she did it. She said hey, I'm home or something like that, and I don't remember what I said. I think I might have just said good or whatever. But but yeah, man, everything was going good at first. I don't think I'm gonna go in too much detail about everything that happened between me and her, but I'm gonna just kind of like tell y'all like the main stuff because I can't remember like every little thing that happened between us. But basically, like she knew my birthday was coming up. I remember I went over her apartment and she made me spaghetti because spaghetti is my favorite food, and she made me spaghetti, and I actually spent the night over her apartment. My parents was actually okay with that. They let me spend the night, and I spent the night over her apartment. I was she made me spaghetti, and I brought my games over cuz she played video games too. She had Spider-Man, the 2018 Spider-Man game, and she had The Last of Us, the first game. Um and we was just in the apartment just vibing out, man. She was playing her music and I was playing my music, and we was kind of dancing a little bit. And I picked her up, I remember, and I was spinning her around like, and then we got on the bed and we was kissing and stuff. Like I'm not making this shit up, y'all. Like I'm dead ass honest. Like it may seem like I'm making this shit up, but I'm really not. Like I'm telling y'all the honest to God fucking truth, man. It just kills me that this shit only lasted for like a week or two, and then eventually she just ended up just ghosting me, man. Like it really hurt me bad, man. Like it struck me hard because we was supposed to link up one day, and one day because like I remember like we was mainly like the main things that we really did was basically we just hung out at her apartment. We was hanging out at her apartment, and I remember she let me stay. She let me stay over her apartment while she was at work, which felt very weird. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Like I just kind of felt pathetic. Like I was staying in her apartment the whole entire time she was at work. She didn't care. She didn't mind. She let me stay over, and I'm sitting in there just playing the game, and I felt kind of guilty. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm sitting here, and it just felt weird. That's all. But she was okay with it, and she came back to the apartment, and then she wanted to. She as soon as she came back, she wanted to go to the gym, cause like this girl, she always like going to the gym all the time. She was like a gym rat. She just she would stay in the she lived in the fucking gym, and I remember I ended up signing up for a gym membership just so I could be around her. I didn't do it because I actually wanted to go to the gym, but I did it for her, which was stupid. So I ended up signing up for a membership and all that bullshit. And I remember we was going to the gym, working out. We was doing that, and what else happened? I drove around in her car. Her car finally came out of the shop eventually, and she was driving around. She was driving, and I was in the passenger seat, and she was driving and stuff. Like basically going to the gym. Like we ain't go nowhere. We ain't like take the car to go nowhere else. We were just driving around, going to the gym and stuff. And yeah, we was just going to the gym, working. I was working out a little bit. She was working out. Um, it was crazy, man. I can't believe. And then I remember we was in the room and we ordered pizza. We ordered pizza and stuff, and she was watching. We was like watching TV and stuff. She used to like watching like a lot of like for some reason I don't know why, but she used to like watching like animals, like National Geographic stuff. She always liked to watch that kind of stuff because it just said it just to her it was just always like peaceful watching like animals. I mean nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. I just thought that was a little odd. Um, and this chick, this wasn't like a typical like traditional Filipino girl. Like she was actually half Filipino. She was half Filipino and half Egyptian. So like she kind of like biracial a little bit. But judging from the picture you see her on the community post, you could tell she definitely looked more Asian than anything else. But yeah, she's half Filipino and half Egyptian. Her mom is Filipino. Her dad was from Egypt. Um, but yeah, I remember she was saying she was gonna introduce me to her family, and and I told her I was gonna introduce her to my family and all that kind of stuff. All that, man, none of that shit happened, man. It was just all talk. And I remember that night. That night we was supposed to have, well, I was trying to have sex with her, but she was saying she wanted to take it slow and all this shit, man. Like that picture that y'all see of her sleeping on my chest, that was the night I was trying to smash, but she was saying she wanted to take it slow because I remember we was tongue kissing and all that, like kissing hard, like how they do in the movies and stuff. We was kissing real good and everything. Cause I remember I was playing Spider Man while the 2018 Spider Man game, and while I'm playing the game, I'm sitting there, this pretty ass Asian chick laying in the bed with me, and I'm sitting here playing Spider Man. I'm like, fuck this. So I paused the game, and I was, I was trying to get her, kind of like turned on or whatever. She laying in the bed, just looking at me and shit. We were locking eyes on each other, and then I lean in for the kiss, and we end up kissing. We was kissing and everything, and then after we started kissing, I was trying to take it a little step further. I was trying to pull her pants down, and as soon as I did that, that's when she stopped me. She was like, "Oh no, She was like, I'm not ready for that yet." She was like, "It's too early for that." So she said she wanted to take it. She wanted to take it slow. So we ended up not having sex, man. And then eventually, you know, I just said okay. I stopped. No means no. So I didn't take it any further. So we just laid in the bed, continued to watch TV, and in the back of my head, I'm kind of pissed, but I ain't show it. I ain't show that I was mad. I just was like kind of like whatever. It was all good. So I was thinking, maybe another time she might be in the mood, but we ain't do nothing sexual, y'all. Only thing that we did was kiss. And I did look on her. She did let me look on her breast. I did do that. But see, that was me doing something sexual to her. She didn't do nothing sexual to me. She didn't give me no head or nothing. I didn't get shit from her outside of just getting kisses. She did kiss me on the cheek a few. She kissed me on the cheek a couple times, like without me. Like she kissed me first a few times. And I remember I actually bought her flowers. I remember like the second day that we met up. I'm just now starting to get some flashbacks on the stuff that happened. I remember I ended up buying her flowers, and I remember I kissed her when I gave her the flowers. I kissed her, and I was trying to see. I was kind of hesitant to do it, but I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just go in and do it." And she ain't stopped me. She actually smiled when I kissed her. She kind of blushed when I did it. And so afterwards, she started kissing me first. And I think she was really into me at first. She really was, at one point. It seemed like it. I remember we was walking downtown again. We took a little walk at nighttime. That was the best, oh my God, that was the best feeling in the world, man. We was walking downtown, holding hands. It was kind of like getting dark outside. It was like around like 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. We walking and holding hands. You know, the street lights are on. It's a little chilly outside. This was like around this time of the year. Like it was like just like at the very end of the summertime. Like just like right now. Like around this time. Like it was just about to be fall. Like that. Like that cool, chill weather, but not too cold. Like you need like a little jacket, that kind of weather. And we was walking outside, and she had her arm wrapped around my arm, and we were just sitting, we were just talking, and she kissing me on the cheek. I remember she kissed me on the cheek before we went on the elevator, and that shit felt good, man. That shit felt amazing. And and she used to love listening to like Stevie Wonder a lot. She was like a big Stevie Wonder fan. I don't know why, but I remember she used to play his music a lot in the car when we was going to the gym and stuff. And yeah, man, we really, you know, I really enjoyed my time with her, man. And I remember I was trying to ask her one day. I remember I asked her. I thought this was kind of like a red flag too when I asked her this. I asked her, if we could be exclusive. No, I asked her if we could, be boyfriend and girlfriend. And she was kind of saying like already. She was like, "Don't you think it's a little too soon?" And I was like, I mean, I really like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was kind of simping. I was simping hard. Cause this girl was so pretty, and I wanted to be with her so bad. So I was just trying to, really trying to talk her into. I really looked at her as if she was the one, you know. And then she was like, I didn't know, she didn't know that I wanted us to be exclusive. So she told me that, I remember. And then, eventually she just said okay, that we could be a couple and stuff. And then I remember she was saying that she said that she was gonna stop using the dating apps. I remember she said she didn't like using Bumble because of something. I don't remember. But she said she got rid of the dating apps. She was gonna stop using the dating apps and everything. Since me and her was so-called exclusive. Um, yeah, we was I thought everything was going good. And then eventually, man, one day we were supposed to link up again. That after that night that we was that we went out and we was hanging out outside at nighttime. I remember one day, um, we were supposed to link up again, and she told me. Now this was the this now this is where this is where the bad part starts. So then I remember eventually, it got to a point where we was gonna hang out again after that night, and I told her, you know, let's link up again. Let's do something else again. I remember she told me she was gonna try to introduce me to her sister and her brother, and because she said she had a sister and a brother, and she showed me a picture of them, and I was gonna, she said she was gonna introduce me to them, and she said that me, her, and her brothers and sisters, we could, go out all together and stuff. And she was saying, I asked her if we could link up and hang out again, at her apartment and stuff. We was gonna play video games and stuff. And she said, okay, sure, and all that. And I remember she she took me home that night. At night when we was like holding hands and stuff, she dropped me off home. But she was saying that I had to pay her gas money. She was demanding me to pay her gas money because I was using her gas. I mean, I guess that's fair. I wasn't complaining, so I gave her a couple dollars for gas. So I gave her some gas money, and then after she dropped me off home, and so I remember we were supposed to link up again, and now this is the part where I think I might have fucked up too, because I think I was a little too clingy. So I think this might have been the cause of why she ended up ghosting me eventually. So I remember, but in a way, it's kind of her. I kind of fault her too, but at the same time, I kind of overreacted a little bit. But anyway, um, so yeah, I'm trying to gather up my thoughts. What happened? Oh yeah, so anyway, I'm at work. I'm just working and stuff, and then I texted her, and I was basically trying to follow up with her, like, hey, cause like we were supposed to link up that day, that I was at work, and I had texted her and asked her, you know, if she was still down to link up that on that same day, and she said, oh, now this is where the bullshit starts. She was like, oh, I have a friend, I'm actually going to a friend's birthday party today. And I'm like, I kind of overreacted, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think this is the part where y'all gonna probably say that it was my fault, which I kind of think it might have been my fault. Like, I might have fucked up, but at the same time, I still kind of think it was bullshit though, for her to flake on me. She flaked on me, so I kind of feel like it was kind of justified that I overreacted, because like you gonna say that you gonna hang out with me this day, the day finally comes, and now you're going to talk about you going to a friend's birthday party. So I texted her. I was like, wait, we not gonna link up? And then she said, I think she said maybe another time or something like that. I don't think I can't remember. I don't know if she actually said that, but I just remember she said that she was going to a friend's birthday party. And then I kind of overreacted, and I was like, wait, a friend's birthday party? And then I was like, I thought we were supposed to hang out. And I was like, don't you, I know this was so stupid of me, man. This was so dumb of me, y'all. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I fucked up. I think big time. I was like, don't you, don't you like me and so and all this other bullshit. I was like, don't you like me? I thought you really liked me and all this. And then I think and then she was like, not if you're. She was like, not if you're. I forgot what she said, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was basically saying, I was basically kind of overreacting over the fact that she basically kind of flaked on me on the day that we were supposed to link up and hang out, and she telling me at the last minute that she was going to a friend's birthday party, and I basically told her, like I just kind of feel like you trying to avoid me and stuff. And she kind of got a little upset when I said all that stuff. And I tried to call her, and she didn't answer the phone. I kept calling. She wouldn't answer. Then I tried to text her. She still didn't respond. And after that, man, I never heard from her again, man. I never heard from her again. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was bawling my eyes out, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be dead ass honest. I was crying. I was really in distraught, cause like I really, was really into this girl, and I just didn't want her. I didn't want us to lose a connection between the two of us, and eventually, she ended up ghosting me, man, and I ain't never hear from her again. So, in a way, it was kind of my fault, but at the same time, it was still bullshit that she flaked on me. So, it it was kind of her fault, but at the same time, I should have just kept it cool and just was like, okay, have fun at your friend's birthday party, even though we was supposed to link up on this day instead of her doing that. It was supposed to be just me and her, not her linking up with her friend. It was just, yeah, man. I in a way it was kind of my fault, but it was her. But she should have never even considered. She just wasn't. I just feel like maybe she just wasn't. She just got tired of me eventually. Like maybe she was feeling me at first, but then like it could have been just a lie. Like maybe she was just making that shit up just so she wouldn't see me ever again. And so I was just crying, man. I kept trying to call her and call her. She wouldn't answer the phone. And then I remember one time I remember I tried to call her after like a few months went by. After I wasn't really after I had got over her, because it took me a while to get over her. But once I got over her, I tried to call her once again, and she didn't. And she actually responded, but she didn't know it was me. She thought it was somebody else. And then when I showed her my picture, I ain't never heard from her again. She just didn't. She unmatched me. I mean, she just didn't respond when I showed her who I really was. Cause I asked her, if she wanted to, link up, and then she said what time, and then she asked me, she was like, can you send me a picture of who you are? And I'm like, wait, what you mean send you a picture? Like, you know what I look like? I'm trying to like laugh it off. I'm like, wait, you know what I look like? What you mean send you a picture? So then I sent her a picture, and it was just crickets. No response. No response, man. And that shit hurt, man. That shit hurt me bad. But I ain't feel that bad because at that point I had already got over her after like this was like months after she stopped after she ghosted me the first time. So at that point I had already got over her, so it didn't really affect me as much. But yeah, man, that was pretty much what happened, man. Um, you know, I was really, in love with this chick, and I thought she was gonna be the one. But turns out, man, she was full of shit, man. Just like all the rest of them. But yeah, I'll never. I don't think I'll ever get lucky with another Asian girl ever again, man. That only and this only lasted for like a week and a half, till maybe like 2 weeks, maybe about maybe like 2 weeks. Like this whole little date relationship that we had, man. It was just it barely lasted a month, man. Like I was in a lot of pain, man. When she first ghosted me, I was in pain. Like I was so depressed. I could barely sleep. I could barely eat, man. I just did not feel good at all. I felt terrible that whole time. Like it just felt like, man, I felt horrible, man. I wouldn't wish this on my. I wouldn't wish that feeling on my worst enemy. That's how painful that pain was, man. A beautiful Asian chick just ghosted me like that after she kissed me on the cheek. I mean, we didn't have sex or anything, but still, she was showing, like, I'm thinking when she kissing me on me and stuff, 'cause she was kissing on me quite a few times, man. At least 4 or 5 times. Like she kissed me first a few times. After I did it first, she started kissing on me first, and I'm thinking, oh, she might actually be feeling me. But the whole time she was probably just putting on an act, man. But this shit really happened, man. I might not have told like of like full details of like everything that happened, because like I can't remember everything that happened like as if it just happened yesterday. I can't remember like the little small details of what, like, the things we talked about and all that. I can't remember all that stuff. All I can tell y'all is like, the things we did and just what happened when we was together for that little bit of that short amount of time. But yeah, man, that's what happened, man. And I never heard from her again. I remember eventually I matched her on Bumble. Like it was kind of weird. I remember I ended up matching her on Bumble after maybe like a year we stopped seeing each other, and we matched each other, and she never messaged me. She never messaged me, like, and it was Bumble, so on Bumble the girl got to message you first. And I remember she told me in person that she didn't like using Bumble, but she was using it, and she matched me again on Bumble, because the first time I met her it was on Tinder, and then we matched again on Bumble after we had already dated and stuff, and after she had ghosted me and everything. So after that, man, we matched on Bumble, and the match just disappeared, man. She just unmatched me, which was strange. I don't know what was the point of her matching me and then unmatch me. I don't. It was just weird, man. I was thinking, oh, maybe she might actually wanna, get talk to me again, but nope. She, it was what it was, man. So yeah, I never heard from her again, man. This was 4 years ago, back in 2020, and I haven't met another girl ever since, man. I haven't met any other girl, ever since, and I didn't even get to have sex with her. But yeah, man, and I mean, at least I could say I've been with I dated an Asian girl before, a Filipino chick. At least I could say that much. But that was the last time, man. That was my first and last experience actually being with an Asian girl romantically. Like, I don't think I'll ever experience that ever again, man. I doubt it, man. Like, that shit felt so surreal. Like, actually being with an Asian chick, holding hands, kissing. I mean, I wish we could have had sex, but You know, she ain't want to. I guess she didn't look at me that way. I guess maybe she just saw me as just somebody that she just wanted to fool around with for a little bit, and then eventually she just got bored and she moved on. I don't know, man, but you know, it is what it is. She's gone. She out of my life, and I've been alone ever since, man. I mean, I've been alone before her, and I'm back to being alone, you know, again after. So, but yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all about that, man. Give y'all a little story about how I met this Asian chick. At the end of the day, we didn't really have like a real relationship. It was just a very, very short-lived date. I don't even really know if you can even call it a relationship. I don't even know what it was, to be honest with you. I mean, we was kissing, we was kind of sort of intimate, like kissing and stuff. We did do that, but we didn't have sex. We didn't have any type of sexual, you know, any type of sexual contact with each other. It was just all just only sexual thing that I guess kissing is considered kind of sort of sexual, but not really. But that was like the only thing we did that was considered intimate. But yeah, man. At least I'm grateful that at least I was able to experience, you know, being with an Asian chick. At least I can say at least she did give me a chance, unlike a lot of these other Asian girls that won't give me a fucking chance. At least she gave me a chance, even though she still ghosted me anyway. Fuck her for that, but at least I can still say at least she gave me a chance. But still, I still say fuck her though. She's still full of shit. But but yeah, man, that's what happened. That's what happened. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. That's pretty much it.